Hey Walking Dead fans, welcome back to the channel. This will be a video about a scene that happened in season 3 of The Walking Dead, so spoiler alert if you're not caught up that far. I won't get into much detail about the big surrounding story of this scene and what happened because I'll expect most of you guys have already watched the episode. But just as a reminder, because it's been so long ago back in season 3, Lori just died, gave birth to Judith with the help of Maggie and Carl. Carl had to put his mom down, and then this walker seemingly ate every single bit of Lori, which was weird. But then Rick goes kind of crazy and goes looking for her, finds the walker, and in that room, boiler room or whatever it may be, he finds that walker and he's going a little nutty at this point. The phone rings.
Hello?
So the scenes are spread out through episodes 5 and episode 6 of season 3, but mostly in episode 6. I just did a video on Jim and some details about that back in the first season because there were a lot of people asking about that phone call. Why? Because Jim was one of those voices that Rick hears. The first phone call that Rick gets is Amy.
Are you someplace safe?
And part of it is because we're careful.
The second phone call that Rick gets is Jim.
You could be dangerous. Have you killed anyone?
The third phone call that Rick gets is Jackie.
Hello?
You didn't want to tell him how your wife died?
And then the fourth and final phone call that Rick gets is Lori.
The people you were talking to today, that was Amy, Jim, Jackie.
Lori?
During the conversation with Lori, Lori tells Rick exactly who was on the phone calls that he had gotten earlier. I know a lot of people over there on the Jim video said that Shane was on the phone, but Shane was not on the phone. He wasn't one of the voices that talked to Rick. So as the show is based on the comic, season 1 was the closest season that I think anyway was to the comic. But this phone thing was also in the comics as well. It was more drawn out a little bit. But in this video, I'm just talking about the scene in the TV show. And one other big thing that came from all of this, who was the first one to ask the 3 questions? Rick and the council came up with the 3 questions right after this, right after he hallucinated. The 3 questions of, how many walkers have you killed? How many people have you killed? And why? It's because Jim asked him those questions in that phone call. That's a nice little trivia piece to know where the 3 questions came from. And the other trivia piece, who were the voices on the phone when Rick hallucinated? Amy, Jackie, Jim, and Lori. I've watched the episodes. I didn't hear Shane at all. I have Googled this as a question, and some people, some places on Google add Shane into that mix or take away Jim and put Shane's name there. But as far as I can tell in the show, from what it told us and from what I heard, there's no Shane. But as far as the Rick hallucination scene, one of my favorite parts is when Herschel came down and talked to Rick. That thing he said about his leg.
Still feel it. Wiggling my toes right now.
And Herschel understood that Rick was going through some major trauma and was very much disturbed and was talking about a phone call from a phone that wasn't even plugged in. To me, Herschel was amazing as far as just being a human being and a doctor and realizing that and not giving Rick any shit about it. Just really trying to say, well, I'll just sit here with you, you know. Rick was waiting on that next phone call and Herschel's just, hey, I'll sit here with you, man, and wait for it. Of course, Rick didn't want him to, and Herschel eventually leaves, but I thought that was a really cool scene. And if you get the itch to go back and watch some older episodes, season 3 is a good one around those episodes, 5, 6, 7. The governor captures Glenn and Maggie. Merle finds out Daryl's alive. Merle's the one that captures them first, of course. Michonne coming to the prison and meeting the group for the first time. Carol is still lost somewhere in the prison. They already have like a gravestone for her, but then Daryl finds her thinking she's going to be a walker, but she's alive. So many things. And of course, Judith being born, Carl naming Judith, Daryl calling Judith a little ass kicker. All of those things happened within those few episodes. So that's a nice little chunk of episodes that a lot of stuff happened that we're still kind of feeling the effects from. But that's it for this one. You guys let me know what you think about it down in the comments below, and I will join you there. This is James in Nashville. As always, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more dead stuff.